Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a very special Overruled episode. As you can see, Zena's here as always. Say hi, Zena. She's asleep. But I do have a very special guest with me tonight. I'm going to bring up right now. Welcome to the show, KFARR.
Oh, hey.
Welcome. You were supposed to be on my show like 2 or 3 months ago, and you were super sick that day. So
Yes.
we had to do a little reschedule, and you're here now. So I'm so happy to have you.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
So we have a bit of a controversial episode tonight, which I didn't think was going to be controversial because I was just going to tell the story and just tell the story like I do every week on Overruled. But people wanted to cause a little drama last night and today. So they copyright struck my channel over a picture and tried to copyright your channel over them streaming you, which was interesting. We're not naming names here. It's all love for everyone. In Matthew, I believe it says that we need to pray for our enemies. So that's what I've been doing. We're going to be talking about Donovan Jackson today, and she's a member of my channel. I assume yours too. A mutual member of ours brought it to my attention. This incident that happened, it didn't get a lot of press at the time like the Rodney King incident did, but this Donovan Jackson teenager was beaten while handcuffed by the police, which is just horrible. And there is a video of it, but we can't play it.
That we're not going to play.
That's what we're not going to play. But I do have photos that I did purchase from Getty Images. So we're going to pull those up so you can kind of see what happened. So this happened in 2002. Let me get the notes. I can't do anything without my notes. So this was July 10th, 2002 in Inglewood, California. And a tourist videotaped an Inglewood police officer slamming a 16-year-old Donovan Jackson down onto a police car and then punching him in the face while he was handcuffed. So you can kind of see here, this photo specifically, you can see he's handcuffed. They had just slammed his head into the car, and this officer's drawing back his fist to punch him in the face. Now, a lot of people say that my channel is a bootlicker channel. This is just simply not true. I think they might say it about you too.
1000%. I was called the bootlicker this morning at 4:00 in the morning.
Oh, nice.
How I roll.
Very nice. I have been called the bootlicker channel before too, but if anybody who has watched my show for any length of time would know that that's not true, because I highlight bad cops all the time on my channel. And number two, my co-host for Friday Night Crime, and I, like, her father was a police officer. We grew up together, so he knows bad cops and he has stories about bad cops, and we like to call out bad cops. This is one of those.
Yeah, so I have a story of a bad cop that I'm keeping in my back pocket for now because it will give away where I used to work.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's not a bad cop, it's a bad police chief. And yes, I've just been keeping it in my back pocket because it's so juicy.
I thought you were going to have breaking news on the Katie's Edge.
No.
Let's check in with the chat real quick, and then we'll get into the rest of the story. I usually have the chat on the screen, but like I told you beforehand, we're not doing that tonight. I don't trust you people over there. I do trust my mods, though. So mods, if you could just time people out today, don't ban anybody. The last time I left my mods in charge, they banned like 100 people. So
hey, in their defense, a majority of them were probably sock accounts.
Probably. Parson, good to see you. Erica, as always, very nice to see you. If my mods could spread out between both of my channels, I would appreciate it. Apparently, we are on both Friday Night Crime and the Katie Zed channel tonight, which means if I'm correct about this, it means that the copyright strike appeal that I did went through, and I won that, because otherwise I would not be able to be streaming on my channel right now. I didn't look at my notifications. Yo Mama is here, and as you guys know, Yo Mama is my mama, so behave yourselves. Christo, good to see you. Quest Fanning, always good to see you. Sedificantus. Smitty's Sanitarium I need to highlight because he did give a little bit of a donation. And on my channel, anytime anybody donates anything at all, buys a t-shirt, supports me in any way, Xena gets a treat. So we'll do that real quick. I'm not going to stop during the show tonight to do that, but we'll take breaks every so often. When I'm doing like the Friday night crime, I'll just stop in the middle of a story and give them treats. We're not going to do that tonight. We're going to get to stopping points and then do them all at once, if that's okay with y'all. So just to start it off with, Xena, this is from Smitty. He loves you. Do a little shake. You got it. Yeah, there you go. All right, Xena is fed. Hello to everybody else that I missed. Might be wrong. I definitely want to say hi to you and number 2. I think I got everybody. If not, I'm thinking about you. You're in my heart. Get that off of there. And all right. So like I said, we're in 2002 and the tourists videotape this going on. And you can see it's from quite a distance away, but he did zoom in this tourist that was out there videotaping. So you can see exactly everything that's going on. Police officer Jeremy Morse was suspended on administrative leave for a while. While the police department, district attorney, and mayor's office did an investigation of the incident. Some are comparing it to the incident in 1991, the videotaped beating of Rodney King, which I brought up before. Have you seen that Rodney King video?
Yeah, so I have seen that video several times at this point.
Yeah.
Obviously, I worked at a police station, so it kind of came up occasionally.
Yeah, you think?
This video, the only part of the video I've seen so far is when he got his head slammed down on the back of the car, and that's all that I've seen.
Yeah, it doesn't start at the beginning. It starts when they have him handcuffed already. But I'll let you know because there's testimony and stuff what happened in the beginning. And I'm just going to go off the cuff. These are just from news stories and stuff that I've researched on this. But Donovan was in the gas station paying for gas for his dad, I believe, and his dad's car had an expired plate on it. We're just ditching the notes. We're just going to go off the cuff because it flows more naturally that way. So he's in the gas station paying for gas. He comes out and the police see that there's an expired tag on dad's car. So they're like investigating that. They're like running the plates or doing what police officers do when they spot an expired tag. And Donovan walks up to these cops and is not a polite young man like he's made out to be in the press.
I am not at all shocked by that.
Now, I am not saying that anything he could have said or did deserves.
Yeah, he didn't deserve it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I want to make that point very clear. He did not deserve to be handcuffed, and then there's no reason at all for a police officer to beat a person. Well, maybe not no reason, but not in this case. But for a handcuffed person to get beat. The only thing I could see is like if the person is handcuffed and they're like trying to bite the officer or using something else as a weapon, kicking maybe. I'm not sure, but that was not this case.
Yeah, I wanted to say story. Let's not call my video stories. It was a guy who had a warrant for DV. Mm-hmm. They handcuffed him, had to put a spit hood on him.
Yeah.
He was trying to, obviously you have your hands behind your back when you get arrested. Mm-hmm. He was trying to grab the officer's giblets, let's call him that.
Oh.
And he kept trying to kick. And then when they went to put him in the car, he was trying to kick back at them and not let him close the door. So in that case, I can see some sort of physical confrontation there, but it seems like this guy, like I said, I saw him push into the car and bang.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like he was going anywhere.
No. Yeah. Like I started to say there's no reason at all, but like I thought about it a little bit and there is maybe a little bit of reason. So let me read exactly what it says here. 2 Inglewood police officers involved in the July arrest of 16-year-old Donovan Jackson have filed a lawsuit. What? That's not the part I wanted to read. That's why I was
He was only
confused.
16?
He was 16. Yeah, I scrolled too
I was
far.
the most polite 16-year-old, like, of all time.
Well, this is the part I wanted to read. So the video only tells part of the story. The story behind the July 6th beating of Donovan Jackson are beginning to reveal much more than the videotape shows. Jackson, 16, was handcuffed by Inglewood police when a tourist videotaped Officer Jeremy Morse lifting Jackson from the ground, slamming him into the trunk of the squad car, and then punching the teen in the face. So that is this guy right here. This officer's the one that like lifted him up and slammed him. The incident has been replayed on television news programs across the country. Some have mentioned that Jackson has developmental disability and is a student in the special education program, which is interesting to me to read in this article from 2002, because I was told by an anonymous source that he developed mental issues because of this incident.
After the fact?
Yeah, and that this would be traumatizing for him because he
Oh, I think I know what source you're talking about. I think
Yeah.
I've had contact with that one as well.
Which obviously that person doesn't know me well enough to know that I am like a terrier when it comes to information and research. So fact check false. Like that did not happen. Not an innocent angel. I don't care if he's traumatized. I'll just say it. I don't care. He was fighting with the police. When you F around, you find out. So
you play stupid games sometimes. You may stumble across stupid prizes.
Exactly. And this kid stumbled across a punch to the face. Most focus on the fact that Morse is white and Jackson is black, comparing the incident to the videotape police beating of Rodney King in 1991. Jackson reportedly came out of the convenience store to find Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies investigating an expired registration on a car that belonged to Jackson's father. Maybe the father wasn't there. Maybe he was just driving his dad's car. I may have that mixed up in my head. I guess we'll find out as we go through this. The deputies said that Jackson assaulted them after he was told to sit in a squad car. Inglewood police, including Officer Morse, arrived on scene and attempted to handcuff Jackson. That's when Mitchell Crooks heard screams and began videotaping the incident from across the street. His 2-minute recording captured images of Morse striking the handcuffed teen. Over the weekend, Officer Brian Darvish reported that he too was punched in the face by Jackson 2 times before the teenager was cuffed. So all this is taking place before the videotape starts rolling. Quote from Darvish: "I yelled at Jackson to let go of my uniform. However, he refused," Darvish said in a report signed by himself and Officer Morse. "Fearing that Jackson would pull me into him and strike me with his other hand, I punched him 2 times in the face using my right hand." Jackson's attorney, Joe Hopkins, told the Los Angeles Times sorry, reading words are hard. Told the Los Angeles Times he believed that 2 other officers took turns beating his client before the videotape began. Last Thursday, Crooks was arrested after police found that he had a drunk driving hit and run, petty theft charges stemming from a night of reckless behavior in Los Angeles 3 years ago. So that's the story. That's where we're starting. That's the jumping off point right there. So what do you think so far? Did you know any of that? Did you research at all before we?
So like I said, I researched a little bit to find that article, which wasn't even really about him. It was about the old eyewitness, which I thought was pretty comical. But yeah, like I said, I watched a little bit of the video. I learned kind of the outcome of everything, but not really anything after the slamming.
Yeah, there's a reason why none of these officers, like, they were put on trial and stuff, and they were not found guilty. They were found not guilty, So there's there's reasons for all of this stuff. And I found just in what I do on my channel. And by the way, I see a lot of new faces here, and I assume you're from KFARR's channel. And I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. This is what I do over here. Give me 1 second. I got squeakers going on. No squeakers.
I thought the squeakers was my baby crying.
Sorry.
How can I hear you from way over here?
Sorry, I got dog WrestleMania.
My 1-year-old baby somehow got out of her crib and crawled across the house.
Where was I? Oh yeah, welcome if you're from KFARR's channel. Let me introduce myself. I'm Katie Zed, and I go over, I do deep dives into cases like this one, and true crime cases, things like that. And then once a month, my co-host and I, number 2, go over quick hitting news stories. So if like this story, all that to say, if this story were to have happened today, it'd be something I would be covering on Friday Night Crime, something like that. Could you just talk for a minute? I got to put these.
Oh yeah, I can talk all day. I'm really bad at actually talking all day. That's why I normally have a video behind me. So for those of you who don't know who I am KFARR. I cover auditors and sovereign citizens and all that jazz. I worked at a police station as a booking officer / jailer. I was in the Navy, and now she's back, and I can be quiet.
My point being was that if this were to happen today, and we do see things like this happen today, once you actually start digging down into the story, most cops are not bad cops, but there are bad cops. And like I said at the beginning, this cop is not a great cop, but there's reasons that these things happen. When you are pulled over by the police, the side of the road is not to argue with them. It's not the place to argue with them. It's not where you're holding court. So like, just take the ticket, do whatever you need to do, be polite. Each and every person on this earth is made in God's image, and we need to treat them as such, whether they're a police officer or a criminal or whatever. It sounds like you're running water in the background. What's happening over there? All right, I got to reshare this. And I'm going to play this little video from my channel. But I have to share it with sound, which I forgot to do before. Nope, not entire screen, just the tab. Share. Okay, so this is a news story from back in 2002.
You're up to date at 7:07. Let's now turn back to Katie Matt now.
All right, Ann, thanks so much.
Mitchell Crooks, the man who videotaped a controversial arrest in California, remains behind bars today. Tuesday, Crooks pleaded not guilty to a probation violation for failing to serve a 1999 jail sentence. Well, earlier this month, Crooks videotaped police slamming a black teenager onto a police car hood and punching him. That's when authorities say they discovered the outstanding warrant for Crooks' arrest. Crooks says he was arrested in retaliation for shooting the video. Some important health news now.
So now we're going to get into his arrest and what happened there. I think
that's my video. That's my video.
I think the first
I've never seen my video pop up in somebody's recommended before.
Oh yeah, you get recommended to me all the time. So the first article that is going to come up is actually that CNN article. So I will add that onto the screen. And I think that's your cue.
We're going to have to deal with the water from
that's fine.
That side of the house. And I just minimized my whole screen. That'd be tragic. All right. I'm going to try to read.
This is a post from Sunday, February 4th, 2004 by CNN.com.
Wait, what day did you say by chance?
February 8th, 2004.
Okay. I thought you said February 4th, and I'm like, I got the wrong article.
I may have said that.
All right. Yeah, freaked me out. So Los Angeles, California, Los Angeles County grand jury Wednesday indicted Jeremy Morse, the Inglewood police officer seen in the amateur video, violating violently, that's completely different, arresting a teenager on one count of assault for the incident. The charge carries a potential sentence of 3 years in state prison and a $10,000 fine. That's a lot.
Yeah.
A 3-year veteran of the police department, Morse, is scheduled to be arraigned Thursday, where his attorney said he would enter a plea of not guilty. The videotape, which was aired repeatedly on television nationwide, shows Morse throwing 16-year-old Donovan Jackson into the trunk of a squad car and punching him. Morse also has been suspended with pay. Police said the incident occurred after the police and deputies pulled behind a car driven by Jackson's father, Kobe Chavez. Gonna mess up names for the rest of my life.
I usually just try to go with whatever that my gut feeling is and then just stick with it with confidence, and then nobody knows.
I mispronounce everything. I don't know if you've seen me with Supreme Court decisions. I mess those up every single time. At the convenience store where he was pumping gas, they noticed Chavez had expired plates and later discovered his driver's license was also suspended. Allegedly, he was a sovereign citizen. Oh, Lord, that's what that screams for me. But according to Chavez's attorney, officers questioned Chavez at the station. They're really throwing that in now that they know that I'm going to mess it up. At the station for no reason, and later began to beat Jackson. Father and son have filed a federal civil rights lawsuit. The Los Angeles Times reported Saturday that the second officer also struck Jackson before the videotape rolled. Moore's partner, Officer Bijan Darvish, wrote a police report obtained.
I pronounced it the same way when I was reading. Yeah.
Felt right. Wrote in a police report obtained by the Times that he punched Jackson twice in the face before the teen was handcuffed because he was afraid the youth would hit him. The report also states Morse is saying he struck Jackson after the handcuffed youth grabbed his testicles, causing extreme pain. Joe Hopkins, an attorney for Jackson's family, told the Times that he was skeptical of the police report. He said that he believes that all 4 Inglewood officers at the scene took turns beating Jackson before the videotaping began. What we see in the tape is a second beating, he said. The videotape was made by Mitchell Eugene Crooks, a unemployed Northern California man, a fugitive since 1999, when he was convicted in Placer County of driving under the influence, hit and run, petty theft. He was flown to Auburn on Friday to serve a 7-month criminal sentence.
Ouch.
I just think it's funny for just a second here that the officer said he hit him because he grabbed his testicles.
Because you just said that.
After I said that, that's totally a thing that happens.
Yeah.
And then the lawyer's like, nuh-uh.
I said there's got to be a reason for it, and turns out there was a reason. Like I don't have testicles. I don't know if you know this about me, but I imagine if I did, it's just a reaction. Like you can't even help yourself. You just like strike out at whatever's causing that sort of pain.
So I have had the giblets grabbed on occasions in the jail because obviously I had to cuff and uncuff thousands of people in my time working there. Mm-hmm. It's not that they tend to grab them; it's that they tend to grab them and not want to let go. Which is when
violently grab them,
which is normally when you get punched.
Mm-hmm.
Like if my giblets are getting squished like a clove of garlic, I'm going to want to do something to you to get you to let go. And if that's punching you in the head while you're handcuffed,
it happens.
You're an average sized person. And I'm an average sized person, and you're handcuffed behind your back. Normally, you do palms out, so they're right there in perfect position to be grabbed.
Yeah. I could see that.
Now that I know that, like, I'm kind of skeptical about everything the attorney says after that.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you'll notice this. It's anything that. These sort of fast-talking civil rights lawyers get involved. They have a way of spinning things, and that's like Jesse Jackson, Benjamin Crump, all of
I'm
these
glad you said his name, not me.
All of these characters, when they get involved in something, most of the time when you actually do research and do a deep dive, it's just not true. What they're saying is just not true. That's why if you go to my channel description, it says digging through the propaganda of mainstream media and unearthing the truth. Because if you just scratch the surface of the headlines and what they're telling you, you find all sorts of stuff. And most of the time you're being lied to, just straight out being lied to.
So again, because I've had to do years of training doing, I don't know if you've heard of Police One, it's like a training website. And if you work at a police station, you can get an account, get registered, take qualification courses and all types of stuff. So I've seen every news article you could possibly read, obviously from a police department. But this is my biggest pet peeve: when a criminal does something wrong, especially a violent criminal does something wrong, they will put it in the news, put it on, any website, TV, and they will put the most innocent looking picture from the 3rd grade. And it's just like,
Trayvon Martin.
Steve unalived 5 people.
Yeah.
That 3rd grader's not the one who did it. Then you looked at him and he's got crazy hair and he's missing teeth. And it's like, that's Steve. You should show that picture.
If you just Google Trayvon Martin right now, there is like a 7th grade photo. The first one that comes up, the one they showed everywhere.
That was one of the ones that I first got into.
Yeah.
Because I was in the military at the time. And there was a building. It was the only building that had like Wi-Fi that you could just use for free. Had a Starbucks. It was called C9. Hung out there all the time. And obviously they have all the TVs, and that's what played all day, every day was that case. And instead of having like the weapons in the Facebook pictures or MySpace, I don't even remember what was cool back then. They showed this nice innocent picture, and it's just like, I'm pretty sure that's not the same guy at this point.
No. It's absolutely not. It's because they were spinning a narrative to try to get to the jury before it went to trial. Now, don't get me wrong. The guy, I forget his name, Zimmerman, was it?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he was right either. There's nuance, obviously, to all of these cases. I personally,
I wasn't there. So
exactly. I wasn't there. So, what's
the history thing? I think weapons can probably say something. History's written by the winner.
Yes, absolutely.
So in reality, he could have said anything.
History is recorded by the victors. So, yeah. But what the other thing I wanted to say that I noticed when you were reading this article about the tourist that videotaped this, you were saying
I thought you were going to call me illiterate. Close.
Yes, you were very illiterate. It's actually, it's kind of nice talking to somebody who's also educated. You don't get that a lot on the internet these days. Like people who actually use their brain, and they were talking about that on the Discord earlier today. Like can think for themselves, have introspection. Those sort of qualities I like. No, but you were saying how he seems sovereign citizen-y. And I was going to say he seems frauditory because not only was he videotaping this incident, but towards the end of the show, I have another incident where he was recording police.
I was going to say, no, I was talking about the dad.
Oh, the dad. Okay.
Because the dad, where is it at? The police officer noticed that he didn't have, he had expired plates and discovered that his license was suspended.
Yeah.
Which is, a hop, skip, and jump away from a sovereign citizen.
Do you want to hear a funny? I haven't said this on air yet, but there was I'm a property manager for industrial properties, and there was an RV bus type thing that was left at one of my properties, and the tags on it said, literally said, private, sovereign, something. I'm like, are you flipping kidding me?
This is it. I found one in the wild.
I found one. Yeah. And it actually belonged to one of my tenants. And I had to tell him, no, get this the heck out of here or I'm having it towed, which
I'm going to have somebody live stream right outside your van.
Yeah, I totally would have. But I had never run into one in the wild before that. So
yeah,
I know one.
They're a strange bunch. I'm not going to
lie. So I guess we're going to get into, I'll read this next article. We're doing a lot of reading today, guys, because like I said at the beginning, we can't play videos unless they're highly edited. And your girl here doesn't know how to edit at all. I need editing lessons.
Look at me. I'm a caveman.
I threw those little stickers on that other video so that way I wouldn't get a strike again, even though he sold the footage to all of these news places. So I'm not sure how it's not. Once you sell it to the Associated Press, it's just out there for anybody. It's not yours anymore. It may have been yours at one time, so you have paperwork about that. Yeah, but once you sell it, it's not anymore. And once it's not yours, you can pay people so that you're allowed to use it, which I've done. So Yikes. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Katie and I can't get my stuff together. I'm telling you what, I always hit the wrong buttons. Okay. Lawyer says California cops' use of force was restrained. A police officer videotaped slamming a black teenager into a squad car and punching him was restrained in use of force. And the public should not rush to judgment, his lawyer said. So this is the other side. You basically read the side of the young man's lawyer. This is the officer's lawyer talking now. We will put that on video. We will put that videotape into context. You cannot see what the subject is doing with his hands just prior to being hit in the face, told John Barnett. The Inglewood officer, Jeremy Morse, is on paid leave as federal, state, and local agencies investigate Saturday night's arrest of 16-year-old Donovan Jackson and his father at a gas station. Okay, so his dad was there. I did get that correct. His dad apparently was arrested as well. I assume that this is a learned behavior from dad. If dad is driving around with no license, no registration, and dad was arrested as well.
I don't want to say the whole sovereign citizen thing, but if I'm trying to not include certain people. If a sovereign citizen gets to keep their child and happens to just stumble into that situation, they normally indoctrinate the child into everything sovereign citizen. So him coming up and grabbing the officer, if that is what his dad was, I solved it. Case closed. I figured out exactly why everything happened.
Yeah, I assume that dad he didn't just walk up and the cops are standing behind their car with a clipboard taking down the plate number and he just assaults them. I assume dad was fighting with the cops when he came out from paying the gas. Context clues, guys. The Inglewood officer, Jeremy Morse, is on paid leave I already read that sentence. Morse filled out a police report in which he acknowledged punching Jackson, but said it was after the handcuffed youth grabbed his crotch. So exactly like you said, it happened. On Thursday, the amateur cameraman who's videotaped the incident, Mitchell Eugene Crooks, was himself picked up. He was arrested outside CNN studio in Hollywood on an outstanding warrant for petty theft, driving under the influence, hit and run. District Attorney spokeswoman Sandy Gibbons said Crooks, 27, ran from officers and let out several blood-curdling screams as he was arrested, yelling, "Help me, help me," which seems like a pattern. I don't know if you read over the slideshow I made earlier, but this is a pattern of the way this person acts when confronted with authority figures, apparently. The arrest was captured by security camera at CNN. What I would do to get my hands on that security footage from CNN. I mean, I wonder if CNN ever released that. That would be great to have, wouldn't it? Crooks was taken into jail, into the jail ward of Los Angeles County's USC Medical Center, then transferred early Friday to a regular jail. Sheriff Joe Effelant said. Effelant. Okay. It wasn't immediately known what, if any, injuries Crooks suffered. Another pattern. I need medical. Another pattern. Instead of going to jail. Did you find that happens a lot when you worked for the jail, where people just make up injuries so they can go to the hospital instead?
Because they think for some reason if they make a big enough stink, they'll go to the hospital, and if they gotta babysit them. So you have to waste the whole person to go babysit them at the hospital. And they'll think, if I do this, it'll be such an inconvenience. They might just let me go.
Yeah.
Which is rarely the case.
Exactly. I doubt that ever happens, you know? Where was I? Crooks was screaming out of fear for his life, as he indicated. One of his attorneys, Dean Masserman, said Friday on NBC's Today Show. From what I understand, Crooks owns NBC, so.
Yeah, that is the rumor on the street.
Another attorney, Ralph Harrison II, said the way Crooks was picked up by authorities is sending a message out saying anyone who comes to the aid of an African American being beaten by the police will be punished. That's laughable.
It screams, don't run away from your conviction and get a warrant. That's what it screams. Take responsibility for your actions.
It seems like not only did he run from the warrants, he was a fugitive for 4 years? And then when they finally caught up with him outside of CNN, he tried to run again. Like, do you not learn from your mistakes? Do you not? Apparently not. A report filed by Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy who was at the scene says Jackson lunged at deputy and pulled, scratched, and fought with deputies and Inglewood officers who pulled him to the ground and handcuffed him. Jackson's attorney said the teen cooperated with authorities. I don't think so, but okay. Jackson, who according to the attorneys is developmentally disabled, was booked for investigation of battery of a police officer. His father was cited for driving with a suspended license. At the news conference Thursday, Inglewood Police Chief Ronald Banks said he was quite concerned after watching the videotape of the arrest. I was somewhat disappointed, Banks said. It was not reflective of our normal practices and the way of doing business. It was too soon to determine whether more should be fired, the chief said. There have been complaints logged against the 3-year department veteran, he said, adding, I can't discuss the officer's complaint history. Before the arrest, Crooks had been subpoenaed to appear before a grand jury investigating the encounter. He was doing a phone interview on KFI AM radio Wednesday when the Los Angeles County prosecutor called in. So if I get this right, he was on the radio show, right? And they're like, okay, caller, you're on the air. And it was the police saying, hey, you're wanted, dude.
Mitchell, we're going to need you to turn yourself in.
Oh my gosh, that's great. We want you before we want you before the grand jury, and we want that original tape, Chief Deputy District Attorney Kurt Livesey said. I want to cooperate, Crooks replied, but he hung up when Livesey demanded that he say where he was. His lawyer said Friday that they understood that Crooks did testify to the grand jury after his arrest Thursday. Placer County Sheriff Edward N. Bonner said in a statement that a warrant was issued for Crooks in May of 1999 when he failed to surrender for a 7-month sentence after being convicted of driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol, hit and run, and petty theft with a prior conviction. That was a lot. I kept interrupting myself because that story was so good. Could you imagine? So he videotapes this thing. First of all, it's odd to me that he did not turn over the original videotape, like, just to start with. So who knows if the first part was edited out or not? Like the part where, Donovan was fighting with the police and all of that. Like, there's no way to know because he never turned over the original video. So
this is also why I'm thankful that most departments have body cams now.
Absolutely.
Dash cams.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing as I was reading that. Yeah, there's no way to, like, it's funny to me. It's interesting to me, not funny necessarily, But one of the things in the Summer of Love in 2020 that they were demanding was for police officers to wear body cameras, and now that those measures have gone into place, they don't want the cameras on. They're like, "No, we changed our mind. No body cameras, please."
People thought that it would go the other way,
Mm,
but in my experience,
obviously.
it's like, we'll have to see the body cam. You guys did X, Y, and Z, and then they look at the body cam. And they're like, yeah, the officer actually was 10 feet away from you the entire time, and you
Yeah.
were on the sidewalk. And it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
well,
Well, or I've seen cases where they don't realize that the dash cam is rolling, so they see that because not all departments have body cameras, like little small departments. Like I live out in the middle of nowhere, so little departments like that don't necessarily have body cams yet, but they do have dash cams. So I've seen instances where the perpetrator, the person getting arrested, like, just blatantly lies about the police, like, lies about sexual assault is a big one that they lie about, like, when, women are being arrested, things like that,
I
but they
just
don't real
somebody making that claim.
Yeah,
If we're talking about the same person,
probably not. This is just a local story, but
yeah, a frauditor female actually just claimed that about 2 police officers.
oh, I think I know who you're talking about, the saggy, low IQ one?
I believe so.
I know what you're talking fairly new to the game, that
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Yeah,
In love
okay.
with Long Island Audit, possibly?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, what they don't realize is inside the police car, not only is their camera pointing out in front of, wherever they are, but there's also one inside the police car pointing to the back seat. I just hit myself in the head. That was good. Um, Entertaining. Excuse me. Um, so yeah, it's all caught on tape now. You can't lie, you can't run, you can't hide. Next story. This is the Los Angeles Times story.
Oh, Lord.
I'm so glad because I need a break from talking. I need a
Unique New York. Unique New York. All right, let's do this. All right. A life of up and downs, then fame. In the moments after, finally caught that stupid bug that was flying around. In the moments after he videotaped Inglewood police beating 16-year-old Donovan Jackson, Mitchell Crooks cried, disturbed and horrified by what he'd captured. Hours later, however, the down-on-his-luck rave party DJ was all business, calling media outlets from 3 a.m. on offering to sell the violent images. Seems like a terrific human being. The way his best friend Dan Hanna tells it, a jumble of impulses, some noble, others mercenary, drove Crook's decision to thrust himself and his video into the public eye.
I think mostly mercenary. Which is interesting that like I said before, he's selling the footage to whoever will buy it and then copyright striking people who play it.
It's a very odd tactic.
Yeah.
God, it only gets worse. Crooks urgently needed a payday, Hannah said, homeless with a hard scrapple resume that included a drunk driving charge, a theft from his own mother.
Yeah.
Crooks had fallen far short of the success and stardom he sought after moving to Los Angeles 3 years ago to spin dance beats. But when the 27-year-old Crook celebrity instant finally came, it helped land him in jail, drawing attention to outstanding warrants stemming from a night of reckless behavior in February 1999. As the news storm he triggered raged on, prompting hundreds of protesters to march on Inglewood City Hall on Friday, Crooks was headed for a Placer County jail cell. Fueling the controversy, an Inglewood police report obtained by the Times revealed that Jackson was punched twice by another officer even before the actions on Crook's tape begins. The report also describes the youth as violently resisting police, a contention his attorney denied. Most good attorneys would deny that.
Yeah.
Crooks could not be reached for his story. Hannah, his mother, and his attorney defended him, insisting that his arrest was retaliation for his part in exposing police brutality. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they make up the warrant in those 3 convictions?
Apparently. Just made it right up.
Strange tactic. It's a shame that the spotlight is going on my son instead of the videotape of this officer, said his mother, Patricia Crooks, in a telephone interview from her apartment in Placer County. This is not how it's supposed to go down. He did something good, and it's backfiring on him. That's such a
baloney. Erica says he stole from his own mama. Yes, and
Yeah.
what's interesting to me is not only did he steal from his own mama, that's what one of the warrants is for, but she's on record with the Los Angeles Times defending him, and that's what the warrant was for.
It looks like it gets into that. That's terrific. Crook's sudden prominence came at the tail end of a 2-month road trip with his friend Hannah, 42. Okay. The same tape that shows the beating also contained highlights from the pair's visit to New York, Chicago, Miami, Dallas, and other places, said Hannah, an out-of-work prop man. The two spent the last couple of weeks staying in cheap hotels in L.A. Then came the moment 6 days ago when Crooks heard screaming, grabbed his $400 Sony video camera, and recorded the 2-minute snippet in which a handcuffed Jackson, who was black, was slammed into the squad car trunk, then punched in the head by a white cop. That's very racy.
They have to bring race into it.
That's how they get the views. That's how they get the clicks and the views.
Yep.
Crooks knew that publicizing the tape could bring his 3-year-old charges of drunk driving, hit and run, and petty theft to light, but did it anyway because he thought it was right.
I guarantee he didn't think of that.
No, 1,000%. He thought of the payday.
He thought of the payday. He was living in cheap hotels. I don't know if you've been to cheap hotels in Los Angeles. I haven't. I've driven past them. When I go to Los Angeles, I usually stay at the Lux on Sunset. But I've driven past them, and they are like creepy. Like I would not want to spend a night in there.
I've seen some places where sovereign citizens and auditors stay, some crackhead motels.
Oh.
In Michigan, I've seen those. Those are not pretty. Very dirty, very disgusting. Yeah. I love it how we're just hitting everyone today. She, of all people, knew her son was no angel. The theft in question involved her. He took 2 video cassette recorders from her home, intending to sell them. He's done some bad things in his life, his mother acknowledged. I knew they were going to catch up with him, but he was more concerned about justice. I know that about my son.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
I don't want to blame mom here though, because you have kids and you know that a parent's love for their child extends, like they can forgive anything. I know my mom has had there's 5 kids in my family, and between the 5 of us, we've done some shit. I'm telling you. So I think that the fact that his mom is supporting him is wonderful. And, sometimes that's the only love that you have in your life is the love from a parent. So I'm not going to blame mom here, but also she's kind of throwing him under the bus at the same time. So.
All right. Police at the Twin Towers jail in downtown LA, where Crooks was held Thursday night, were quick to label his actions opportunistic.
Yeah.
Might be accurate. He is just getting an opportunity to get more publicity and money, said the female officer, who did not want her name disclosed. She said said he just wanted to get rich off somebody's sorrows or woes. It's like pimping.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the most accurate thing we've read all day.
Yeah.
Hannah says Crooks was pleased when TV stations offered him $150 a piece for the use of his videotape.
It's so little.
Interesting.
So little money.
Well, that might be why he could strike things, because it looks like he didn't sell it to them to keep, but
you sold them to use.
Yeah, interesting. Hannah also has been thrust into the spotlight by his friendship with Crooks. Thursday night, CBS put Hannah up in the upscale Renaissance Hotel at Hollywood and Highland after he agreed to appear on the morning show to talk about Crooks.
He was probably over the moon to have a bed that doesn't have bed bugs in it to sleep in. Like, oh, they have like shampoo and stuff in here. That's great. Fresh towels.
Still, some things counted more to Crooks than money. He told ABC he wouldn't give the network the videotape unless they put Bill Maher's recent canceled
tried to blackmail him.
Television. Anna said a Green Party supporter who adores Ralph Nader.
That's a very interesting part, isn't it?
That's
this part
account, I believe.
This part right here, this paragraph right here, when I read it the first time, I thought to myself, I don't care how much you like Ralph Nader. He's not your father. Stop. Just stop. Just stop it. He's not I just, sorry, I said I was not going to say people's names and stuff, but just this paragraph made me literally laugh out loud to the point that tears were rolling down my face while I was reading it sitting in my office the other day at work when I was researching this. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Sorry, continue.
Oh, you're absolutely fine. Give me a break. A Green Party supporter who adores Ralph Nader and hates President Bush. Crooks also withheld the tape from CBS because he said it blew it, the presidential election, by calling the winner too early. Hannah said, ultimately, whether or not his intentions were pure, Crooks' actions have brought what many consider a injustice to light. His first instinct was to make sure nobody else saw what happened. His mother said, to make sure somebody else saw. Okay, that makes more sense. What happened, his mother said, he always hates seeing the poor guy that's down because he's been down in his life. He's had troubles too. Born in Auburn, California, Crooks was raised by a single mother in a household almost always under financial strain. He met his father, who left his mother when she was pregnant with him. Just once when he was 9. He still refuses to talk about him, his mother said. Her son grew up independent and strong-willed, Patricia Crooks said. He got into trouble as a youngster when a scuffle with another kid landed him in juvenile hall. Hannah said Patricia Crooks said her son was abused there and it left an ugly taste in his mouth for the police. They pulled his hair, she said. Oh, Lord.
Do you want me to continue?
No, I'm
okay.
To the end. He had shoulder-length hair and had gotten mouthy with one of the guards. The guard decided to take him down to the floor. I mean, the guard took a chunk of his hair out by the root, and he had a bald spot in his head for months. It was horrible. Strange move. His move to L.A. was an effort to leave his youthful missteps behind and start fresh, said his attorney, Dean Messerman, who described Crooks as soft-spoken, gentle, socially conscious, frayed-nerved young man. If you know that you're facing 7 months in prison somewhere else, and you move to a whole different city, it's not to leave his youthful missteps behind him and start fresh.
Not at all.
Also, the soft-spoken, gentle, socially conscious, frayed-nerved young man.
Baloney.
He's been through a lot, Messerman said. He comes from a very small town where he didn't really like living, and he was trying to make things better for himself in Los Angeles. But by Friday, stripped of his hero status, he briefly held for bearing witness to Jackson's beating. Crooks sounded vulnerable in a message he left for his friend Hannah. I'm really afraid, obviously. He told his friend in a call from jail, I'm really scared. They're going to take me back to Placer County so Placer County can have their turns beating on me. They've already roughed me up. I've got scars. I've got bruises.
Again, with the F around, you find out. I'm assuming, obviously, I was not there, but for a guard to beat you so badly that your hair gets pulled out, I'm going to guess that he was doing or saying something that prompted that. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm absolutely not saying it's right what happened to him. What I'm saying is that sometimes you got to go along to get along, and there's a time and a place to settle disputes like this. And not having the self-control or self-awareness to know when those times and places are is a sign of immaturity. I want to point out that this is not a child that it is a child. He's still a child, but he was almost 30 years old at the time. It wasn't like we're not talking about
almost as old as I am now.
Yeah, we're not talking about like a 19 or 20-year-old, kid who, he was 27, I believe, when all this happened.
Youthful missteps behind. What was it? This was 2022 when it happened.
2002.
99.
It was
so there was 3-year difference from when all that stuff happened and now. So it's like, he was 24.
Yeah.
It's not like he was 7 and some things happened and he stole some bubble gum.
Yeah. Before we go on to the next the next thing, I'm gonna do my commercial break. I wanna point out that Zena's dreaming right now. I don't know if you can see her on the screen moving her little paws and twitching her ear, but, this show is brought to you today by nobody else but me, because nobody will sponsor this. So, if you would like to make a donation, Zena does get a milk bone, and if you would like any of my merchandise, it is available to you at KDZ.com. That's KDZ.com for any of the merchandise that you see here on your screen. We also have Stephen Ignoramus's merchandise on my screen as well. And this month you could use discount code IGGY, that's IGGY 5. And that not only will work for Stephen's merchandise, but mine as well. We have sweatshirts, we have dog bandanas that say True Crime with Xena featuring KDZ, because we all know you're actually here to see Xena and not me. There's hats, there's Christmas ornaments, there's all of the things. The other thing is Rumble right now. If you go over to Rumble and you make a donation over there, till the end of the year, Rumble is giving 100% of the whatever you contribute to the creator. They're not taking any of it. So if you donate $5, I get $5. That's over there on Rumble, Rumble Rants. They keep me monetized. They did never demonetize me. It looks like we have 32 people on Rumble right now. Welcome, Rumble people. I have you over here on this side screen. I'm seeing you guys. So you can always do the Rumble rants over there. That's the best place to do it. But if you don't want to do that, you can do a donation on Buy Me a Coffee. You can do the super chats, super stickers, all of those things. Like I said, not only does Xena get a treat, but you get entered into the drawing as well. You don't have to purchase to enter the drawing, but once a month we do a drawing. This month we're going to give away some Xena merchandise. So I haven't decided what it is yet, but we will definitely do the Xena merchandise this month. I think that's it. I think that's the ad.
I need to get me some merch.
Let me know. I
need to start making some.
Yeah, I can help you.
I need to get shirts and a hoodie that says KFARR Cabal.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
KFARR Cabal. Let me know. I can put it into the KDZ merch store and give you a discount code if you would like. Now I have to
talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk off air.
I keep meaning to do it and then I just never do.
I do a little graphic design on the side. If you notice, Weapons 175 here, his little logo there. That's a KDZ original. I designed that for him. So let me know if you need a little graphic design work done. I love doing it.
Hey, I don't know if you saw my post the other day.
I did not. I don't know.
I'm in the market for a logo.
Oh, are you? I did not know that. We'll talk off air. Yeah, for sure. My degree is not in property management, if you believe it or not. It's in marketing. So that's what I love to do. I've never once in my life used my marketing degree for anything at all that made me money. So
let me find it on the wall. Right there.
Yeah.
My degree's in criminal justice. I am one class shy of another degree in Homeland Security.
Okay.
And I am a semester short of a degree in history.
Right.
And I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, like you did use your degree a little bit, right? So you worked at the jail.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was very overqualified for my position.
Yeah. While we're chatting, let me just pull up the KDZ.com because my mom just brought up a good point. So my friend Steven asked me to design shirts for him, and what I did, because I can, let me share my screen. So on his shirts, on the inside tag, I didn't tell him I was doing this, but I put subscribe to KDZ on the inside of his shirt. So if you're okay with that on your shirts.
Yes, that's solid. That's a great tag.
Yeah. So I thought that was just a fun little joke I'd play on him. And all of his fans are getting that, like, who is this KDZ person? Anyway, so we were talking about this tourist who video recorded. And what I wanted to point out is that this is not the first time that he's video recorded the police. It seems like he has actually a habit of doing this. So I actually am in the wrong. I got to go back to the beginning. I was at the
Seems
end.
like timeline wise, he might have been an OG auditor.
It seems like it. Just
20 years before it was cool.
Yeah. Just what we've been seeing. So there is a videotape out there. Like I said, we're not playing any videotapes today, but I did do a transcript of it. So I would like it if you could read the crooks part and I will read the police officer's part. Is that all right?
I think so.
All right. So
I think I can do that.
Yeah, Mitchell Crooks was filming the Las Vegas police for about an hour while they responded to a burglary. In the video, you can see as he zooms into the victims. I misspelled victims there.
That happens to the best of us.
The victim's open garage and windows. Can I help you?
God, just observing.
Do you live here?
Nope.
Turn that off for me.
Why do I have to turn it off? I'm perfectly within my legal rights to be able to do this.
Turn the camera off.
I'm perfectly within my legal rights to be able to do this. This is great.
Listen, turn off the camera for me.
Oh, God. No, sir, I'm within my legal rights to do this.
I typed this out really quick. I want to apologize. I'm seeing all of the typos right now. Like,
hey,
I didn't
going to say anything. I was just going to keep reading.
I didn't go back and check it. Do you don't live here?
I do live here.
You don't live here, dude.
I just said I live here.
Get on the ground, and then indistinguishable, like, rustling.
What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing, man? I'm trying my best over here.
It's good. Get on your stomach.
God damn it.
Indistinguishable.
What are you kicking my camera for?
On your stomach. Stop resisting.
Help, 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 help.
Stop resisting on your back.
I can't give you indistinguishable crying and high-pitched whining.
I will put a link to this in the description after the show if you guys want to listen to it yourself. It's better to listen to it yourself. Stop resisting.
Help, help, help me. Why did you do that? I live here.
You told me you didn't live here.
I have every right to be here. I was observing in here.
You live right here in this house?
Yes, look at my ID.
I will. You should have told me that, dude.
I did.
No, you didn't.
It doesn't matter. Come on, guys, take it. You already kicked my ass pretty good now.
Shut up.
Help! Help! Oh my God, all my neighbors are aware.
Good.
Oh, Lord. I'm throwing him a southern accent some of these times, and I don't know why.
You got handcuffs extra?
Oh, what am I under arrest for?
Obstructing a police officer.
Obstructing a police officer?
Yep.
Can you take your hand off, please?
Shut up.
I can't breathe. Come on. Apparently, he was the original person for that.
The original, I can't breathe. You want medical?
Yeah, I want medical, please.
You ready to cooperate?
I have been cooperating.
If you fight me again, dude, hey, if you fucking fight me again, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Do you hear me? Shut up. You're not in charge here, buddy. You hear me?
This is my property.
You should have told me that in the first place. We'll look at your video.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Because guess what? If you're on somebody else's property, you know what that is? Trespassing. Oh yeah, buddy. Hey, when do you want... Sorry, I'm laughing too. Hey, when don't do what I asked you to do, then you're going to be in World of Hurt, aren't you? Huh? Sit up.
Sit up.
Is there anybody in the house?
No.
Officer knocks over camera with his foot, like the camera's sitting on the ground, guys. So he like walks around, kicks the camera.
Oh Lord. Please don't kick that. You don't have permission to enter my house.
I'm not going in your house, am I?
Here, I'll show you my ID. You want to look? He hasn't even searched me yet.
Mitchell Crook spent the night in jail. He was charged with battery on a police officer and obstruction of justice. Take your bow. End of presentation. Thank you. Thank you. Applause. Yeah, I just did that at the last minute because I realized I couldn't use the video. So I apologize for the typos. But
so it seems like
that was fun.
Timeline wise, what wasn't he living out of cheap hotels? And now he's claiming to be a property owner with a full-blown house that's on his ID.
Well, I did search property records in California and in Las Vegas or in Nevada, because I happen to know those are the two places that I know of that this person, the tourist with the video camera, has lived. And I saw no records of any home ownership or property ownership at all in the history of this person.
Especially when he said, check my ID. If you're living from place to place and hotel to hotel, that's not exactly going to appear on your driver's license.
The other thing, like I said, I will put this in the description if you guys want to listen to it yourself. But what I did notice was each time when the officer said, I will check your ID, he said, it doesn't matter. So that when he says, check my ID, I live here, and the officer said, yeah, well, let me check your ID. He then says it doesn't matter, and then later on in the play that we just put on, he says it again. I'm going to check your ID, and he says it doesn't matter. So I'm wondering if he really did live there or not. I couldn't find any records of if he did or did not live there. So I don't know, but it seems like, oh, I turned off the Xenacam by accident instead of that. Xena's moving around. Don't forget, guys, Xena needs a milk bone.
Just for you, because you do this, I'm going to have to set my dogs up with their own camera.
Yeah, it's not like she likes to be on camera. She's a diva. She's a diva dog. Why not? And people seem to like buying her a milk bone, so especially since she's so good at sleeping, they're like, you need to make sure the dog's alive. Here's $2 to give her a milk bone.
Go check on your throw this bone.
Go check Xena. Make sure she's alive. So there was a settlement in this case.
And again, just because most people are just, I don't know, ignorant of this fact, a majority of the time, a settlement is cheaper than taking it all the way to the end of the road.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I don't know how much the settlement was for, but more than likely between costs for attorneys, experts, it might have just been cheaper to be like, here, please go away.
Well, and if you recall, I don't know how much you paid attention to this case, but in the what's his name? George Floyd case, St. George Floyd never did a thing wrong in his life. In his case, they did a settlement. The city did a settlement before the police officers even went to trial. So they're just trying to not have, like, not get sued. And I mean, I don't want to bring up, this is crime stuff. So, but the papers just came out where he actually died of a fentanyl overdose, not from suffocation or strangulation or anything like that.
Well,
So
I got called basically that I would have done that to a human being if I was a cop by
I would have too.
unnamed source. Yeah, just because I'm me and they don't like me, I would have been that cop.
I would have been that cop too. And I know you're not saying that you would have been that cop, but I would have been that cop. I definitely would have been that cop. So bring it. Bring it to me. Yeah, if somebody's fighting me and all of that, of course you're going to detain the person.
Hezekiah's here. Oh no.
Hello, Hezekiah. Nice to see you. I enjoyed your show, and Ray Ray's here too. I don't know if I don't usually see you in Hezekiah's morning chat or whatever, but
I try to show up.
Ray, for whatever reason, every time she's on camera recently, I think that I'm looking at me on camera. I think she looks so like she could be my cousin or something. Like, yeah, it's like I don't remember being on Hezekiah's show. Like, what's happening?
Hezekiah, I just want you to know that I love you so much that I go out of my way to not schedule anything during your Saturday night stream.
There's a reason why we did this at 8:00 tonight instead of earlier. Like when you asked me
Why I
times,
released the video at 4:00
Yeah.
instead of 6:00.
yeah, I said, well, we could either do it early at like 3:30 or 4, or we have to wait till like 8 because Hezekiah's usually done by then. All right, so back to the story. So the young man, Donovan Jackson, was handcuffed. A little recap: hit in the face by the police officer. A person who was on vacation, I guess it said tourist, described as a tourist, videotaped it. And because it was caught on videotape, the family did get a settlement. The family of a 16-year-old boy who was videotaped being beaten by police officers, a scandal which shocked the world, which is a little overstated because I had never heard of it before.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. Like everybody's heard of Rodney King.
Yeah, Rodney.
Everyone's heard. Everyone at this point, for better or worse, everyone's heard of George Floyd.
Yes, exactly.
Not once have I ever heard about this.
No,
and then you read from what the cops say, and it's not like any of these other cases where it's like, oh, I thought he was going to do this, so I did this.
He actually assaulted.
Oh, I thought he was doing this. It's like
he assaulted the
if
police
somebody's
officer.
grabbing my giblets,
Yeah, he
gonna swing on that person.
Grabbed the officer's giblets. He apparently was grabbing their clothes because he said he had to yank back to get him to stop grabbing his shirt or whatever. So this young man was basically assaulting the police officers. So yeah, he got punched in the face.
And then that's where the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he was mentally handicapped or something, right? Before any of this.
Yeah.
So it's like if I'm dealing with a father
Mm-hmm.
and I get jumped by some random guy, I'm not going to be like, here, can you take these tests for me?
Yeah.
So I can know if you're like mentally able to fight me.
Exactly.
Like if somebody jumps you, you're just going to let instinct take over and handle it.
Yeah, you react. Exactly. A scandal which shocked the world has agreed to settle a federal civil rights case for an undisclosed sum, a lawyer for the Inglewood City said yesterday. In the bystanders video, the handcuffed Donovan Jackson, who is black, I love the way they just have to throw that in there.
And this was like before it was cool to just throw it in there every 3 seconds.
I noticed that this is back before they were capitalizing the word black in articles like this. The bystanders video handcuffed,
capitalize, put it in italics.
Yeah, exactly.
Bold it.
Is seen being punched in the head by a white officer. He is then slammed into a patrol car. The incident in 2002 was resident of Rodney King beating by Los Angeles police officers 14 years ago. The city and Los Angeles County did not admit any wrongdoing in the tentative agreement, said Albert DeBlanc. The family's lawyer could not be reached for comment yesterday. Donovan, who suffers from hearing, speech, and learning difficulties, was returning to his car after paying for petrol Who wrote this? A Brit? Speak American. What are we doing here?
That's the word you picked.
When the officers told him to drop the crisps, what is happening? Drop the crisps.
You found a worldwide European article.
Do not think that the officer said he was getting petrol. Please
Hello,
drop
sir.
crisps.
Can you drop your crisps?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's how that went.
No.
But that's how we're reading it now.
Yeah, told him to drop the crisps he was eating and put his hands on the car. The young white DJ staying at they're really describing him as a DJ. Did he had an iPad or something, or an iPad?
And if he had an iPad in 2002,
oh well, I don't know. Yeah,
my man's a time traveler and a DJ.
Never mind. I have no concept of time or space usually. The young white DJ staying at a hotel nearby heard the commotion and ran outside to record the beating. It was broadcast around the world. Officer Jeremy Morse said he had sorry, I lost my place. He reacted forcefully after Jackson grabbed his testicles during an arrest at the petrol station. The videotape did not show whether any grabbing occurred. Well, it was behind the car. Like their waists
behind the car,
below,
behind his back.
Yeah.
And the only thing that you're going to see to, like, give you the hint that anything happened is the police officer's reaction. And if you reacted by punching you in the face, that's a good sign.
Happened.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Something happened. Mr. Morse was sacked and his one-time partner, Brian Darvish, was suspended for 10 days for filing a report which allegedly failed to mention Mr. Morse's conduct. The judge dismissed a criminal charge of assault against Mr. Morse, who, after 2 juries, failed to reach a verdict. So he went to trial twice and was and no guilty charge was.
So I think I wanted to bring this up actually at the beginning of this article.
Yeah.
If you have a jury that has any males on it whatsoever, and they hear, I punched him in the face because he grabbed my nuts, they're gonna be like, that's not guilty.
Yeah.
Like, what are we even doing here?
Exactly. In January, a jury awarded $1.6 million to Mr. Morse and $811,000 to Mr. Devish, who sued England. So the police officers got paid. The police officers got paid. $1.6 million to the guy who got his nuts grabbed, and $800,000 to the other officer who was suspended for 10 days.
I don't think they're police officers anymore at that point. Like, you go find another job.
Fine by me. Arguing that a black officer who allegedly hit Jackson with a flashlight received a lesser punishment. So they're saying racism. All right. Inglewood's black police chief, Ronald Banks, denied that race had been a factor in the punishments. Mr. Banks told reporters, I based my decision on their actions and what I thought was what their responsibility was. It was based purely on the facts. I was shocked at not only the verdict, but the size of the award. It was somewhat ridiculous.
If somebody grabbed my nuts and I punched him a few times in the face to get them to let go, I should not face any punishment. If I randomly whack a guy with a flashlight for what seemed like no real reason, since he wasn't the one being, nut grabbed.
Yep.
There's an issue.
Exactly. So that's it. So cops, all the officers had no charges filed. 2 of the officers got giant settlements, and Donovan Jackson got a bunch of money too, but we don't know how much.
Yeah, it seems like this entire incident just got a lot of people paid, and there wasn't really anything negative that happened.
It did, except a lot of people paid a lot of money, except for the person who made $150 per news station. Yeah. That's not a lot of money. So
not even in 2002.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have anything else you wanted to follow up or talk about with this case? Or
I am good.
I really appreciate.
I'm kind of glad the reading for me is over, because for streaming for 10 hours in the last 30 hours, my voice is like this close to just being done.
Yeah, mine was cracking a little. Mine was cracking a little bit there too at the end, but it would have been easier because all of these articles I had videos show saying pretty much the same things, except I didn't want to risk it, and when I planned this, it was before I even knew I was going to be able to stream to my channel tonight. So I'll have to check my emails when we get off air. I want to just thank everyone who came by today. Thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this very special episode of Overruled. We usually only do it once a week on Sundays, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern, Miss Mandy 777 is going to come on. We're going to talk about a case that happened in her small town, or a small town that she lived in at the time, of a young lady named Zahar Baker, who unfortunately her life was taken from her, and we're going to go over that whole case. Just so you guys know, out there in the crowd, if there's a case that's near and dear to your heart, email me. Hit me up on the social medias. Let me know about it, because I like to cover cases. This case that we covered just now, I had never heard of. The one that we're covering tomorrow, I had never heard of, but I like researching. It's my favorite thing to do. So I like doing little research projects every week. And if you give me a case, I'd love to dig into it and get you the full story. Once again, thanks KFARR for coming on. You can find KFARR at, it's just youtube.com at KFARR, right?
KFARR cams and Reading the Room.
Oh, I didn't even know about your third one, Reading the Room.
It's going to be, I've got a whole one video.
Oh, okay.
Science fiction-y video game.
Oh, nah.
Books thing.
Boo.
It's my stress reliever from covering stupid. So
I do enjoy your KFARR Cams channel. You guys should check that out. Let me grab the link real quick, because if you like my channel, you will definitely like KFARR Cams. So let me grab that. I think between those two channels, we'd probably have a lot of crossover, because I cover similar things. A lot of times I'll see you cover something and I have it on deck to be covered the next time I go live. I'm like, hey, I was just going to cover that one. So we should do some sort of crossover event sometime. But yeah, I just put his links in the chat there. So please go ahead and subscribe to his channel. If you are new to my channel from his channel, please subscribe to my channel. I love to see you in the chat. We'd like to have interactive discussions about cases and stuff like that. A lot of times I do take call-ins at the end of shows as well. Not tonight, but when I do the small clips, the crime segments, we do call-ins at the end. I enjoyed it. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4:30. Bye. Bye. Oh, geez.
First Florida man, Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Won't you so loco? Show off your photos, throw out your Twinkies, throw up your ho-hos, tuck in them pinkies. Them shits a no-no. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Brought to my attention by the man with the mojo. My 8th subscriber, I'm a bagoso. Jump in them sinkies and dump them mimosos. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Looking for new drills, needed a new track of land. I used to dig the Simpsons, man. Bumping Biggie, Pop, Smash Mouth, and Simple Plan. No scrubs for the grease in my pimples, damn. From the south streets of southeast Michigan, hitting shuffle till I settled on a different jam. And when a dime won't do, a better nickel can. And let me tell you, when I used to dig them Simpsons, man. A funny thing about time, you can't get it back. A tight grip, but it rips the jacket. Slight lisp with a mix of traffic. You see about me, like Mr. Glass. Always wished I was a whiz at graphics. Take me back to the past where the hits were massive. You can hear Gladys Knight in the pips on plastic. Misfit molasses. Delete my contacts just so I can stick to glasses. Feel that skipped out, so I miss the classics. Aristotle of the bottle, Seneca of the sinful action, senator of the simple maxim. I swear for a skillful Saxon, I'm still relaxing. Who wanna take a dip in the mind sauce, making up for the time lost, forgetting all my past was when I sign off. Prime bribe, prime rib, Agent Smith, crime boss, popping red pills till my mind's off, mind's off.